Hello ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to be showing you a race that I thoroughly enjoyed. This is actually on Monza, which is my favourite track statistically, and also second favourite car statistically, so yeah, so I think I'm pretty zeroed in on this Corvette, and I'll talk you guys through some of the driving techniques and stuff that I'm using to get the best out of it in this video. Trying to stop it a few times, talk you through some of the nuanced details of my driving style so you guys can pick up on it. Yeah, so this race was really sick, really awesome. I think you guys are really gonna like it. So yeah, 10 minutes of qualifying. I'm going to skip through some of this so we can get straight into the race. But let's have a look at how I get going with the setup. So these are the GTE cars in Project Cars 2. Project Cars 2 probably one of the most realistic racing sims. Stepping on it quite heavy there. This is on purpose because obviously this is the cold lap straight out of the pits. As you can see on the top right, the tyre icons are light blue, which means they're stone cold essentially. So we're not going to have the rubber, the perfect temperature to get the max amount of grip. Yeah, as you can see, we're sliding all over the place here. But the thing is, it's good to do that on your out lap because you want to heat the tyres up, and sliding around, it heats them up. Going in the dirt, not so much. So I actually decided that the loose setup was, it was a little bit too loose and bouncy, especially the rear end. So I remember really enjoying this car from the get-go, so I'm pretty confident there in switching to the stable setup. And for some reason I don't seem to have any custom setups, which is odd. I guess the stable setup just doesn't really need changing. But let's have a look how different this feels than the loose setup. So through there you can see it's not really kicking the back end out at all, and the tyres are still cold. It seems like we've got a lot more stability. Keep an eye on the speedo at the bottom. And you can see how heavy I'm putting the brakes into the corners. You want to really stamp on the brakes early if you want to heat up the tyres. You want to stamp on the brakes early, but you also don't want to hold them too long into the corner, otherwise you will just lose control. See, I'm letting off there. I'm letting off there quite before I turn in, really. So, as you can see, the tyres, not quite light blue anymore. They're a shade of, shade of turquoise, really. One of the nicest colours. Yeah, so they've gone green. I'm trying to heat them up as quick as possible because I've only got 6 minutes left of qualifying. So it's quite important to actually get a clean lap in here that is giving me a full idea of the race pace that I can achieve with this car. So here we come. We're going to go for our hot lap here, I think. Well, an attempt. It's not going to be the quickest because our tyres are still bright colour. The operated temperature would show up as a dark green on the tyre icons. Very nice. Nicely through there. We you've got to remember to be quite gentle on the throttle, especially any throttle that you put on before the exit through that one, because your car is going through the sharpest S on the track. Oversteering that one, literally giving it more angle than is needed really. I think here I'm still pushing the car to lose traction. Yeah, it looks like I'm definitely trying to play around with it, get more of a feel for it. It's actually a good idea to do this before the race. You can either start slower and get used to the track before adding on some pace, or you can start get used to the car. You know, it depends which one you want to focus on. So for this, obviously, I said this is my most popular track statistically, so I don't really need that much practice with the track. I haven't driven this car in a while before doing this race, which is why I was on the wrong setup at the start here. Yeah, but let's watch how I do this first corner, because this first corner actually is really important in this. You can lose and gain you can gain multiple seconds if you do this right. So we brake just before 150. I messed that one up completely. So I must have pushed the trail braking too far there. Trail braking is where you lift off the brake before you turn in, and while you turn in you hold it slightly. You can see here I'm lifting off. Yeah, so one of the things I really like about this car is the throttle response. What I mean by that is, you know, the relationship between my throttle input and the difference in movement, you know, in the back end predominantly, in relation to how much power I'm trying to get out of the car. Generally, from what I'm seeing, what I'm doing with this car in terms of throttle is I hold it at 3/4 or full. Generally, occasionally I might dab it a little bit just to stabilise the car, but usually when I'm driving aggressively through some different corners, I'll ask the question about traction with the 3/4 throttle. So yeah, let's have a watch of the throttle here. So yeah, I asked the question there. I didn't quite go to full throttle, but then I lifted off as soon as I started to feel the back end getting lively, and then as soon as it grips up again, straight back on the throttle, because it's gripped up. You know, you don't need to keep backing off. Yeah, you do not want to hit that curb. Yeah, very pushing there. So you've actually got, is that 2,000 looks like, and a second split between me and first place. I don't think I actually noticed how close that was in the actual lobby. But yeah, here we've got the last lap in qualifying, so let's see if I'm going to be able to push it and steal pole. Taking it really easy on the throttle out of there. You can probably hear the engine's not quite as angry as as I would expect. So yeah, this corner I seem to be struggling with. I'm turning in a bit too aggressively, initiating a drift. Hopefully I can control that in the race and give it the respect it deserves. This corner also, Ascari, not my favourite. Feels great when I get it right, but yeah, you can see I'm kind of correcting constantly throughout that corner. Can't quite get it fluid. So we're 4 tenths faster, so it looks like we're going to still pole as long as we don't miss this last corner up, Ascari. Sorry, that's not Ascari, that's Parabolica. Yeah, so still pole. I'd say it's not actually that important getting pole, especially on this track. What is important is what side of the track you're on, because you're coming up for that first corner, the famous pile-up chicane. So I'd say, yeah, which side would you prefer? Really, left side, outside? For the right-hander, I think maybe right side. Right side is probably better. I don't think I was actually counting on what side I was on, but if you're on the right side, you can hug the inside curb on the first right-hander. As long as you don't get slammed by somebody missing the braking zone, you're pretty much sorted from then on. You just drive around the outside of the left-hander. Don't go near the apex. You just drive around any cars that are there. You just drive around them. No need to floor it on the way out and spin out and mess everyone else's race up. That's probably the best way of doing it, starting off on the right-hand side of the track. So we'll see what side we're on here. So we're actually a little bit slower than second place Ice-T Face on third sector. Sector 1, Sector 2 are faster. I'm actually really surprised how quick I'm driving in this race. I mean, obviously it can depend on who's in the lobby with you. This is just a random lobby. As you can see with the ratings, most of the drivers are U rated, but we've got one B and one S. Ice-T Face is the only other S that I can see, so he might give us a bit of decent fun competition. So I've hit ready straight away there, not even messing about with any tweaks. It's one lesson that you can learn the hard way in this game, is last minute tweaks between qualifying and the race start. They can ruin your race usually in the first lap, because the smallest difference can send you off. So here we go, race start. I've got M6s behind me, renowned for their top speed superiority, and we are on a rolling start here. So yeah, you can see he's turned his lights on, he's gaining on me pretty quickly. I'm going to stick in his way. That's the whole point of racing, stay in their way. Brake right on 150 there.
He's still right.
Yeah, so I'm sort of messed up there, but it's just as well because the yellow Corvette there was parked, you know, on the inside racing line on the left hand there, so we've dropped position, not really, you know, anything to complain about there. He's gone defensive, which is fine by me. I prefer the outside here on this left-hander. Just staying on track there, keeping the M6 behind in check. Yeah, gave him enough room, you know, not being too polite, but yeah, we gave him enough room, but we're not going to give the place up that easy on the, you know, the first couple of corners. So it looks like the pack is spread out a little bit. Got yeah, no, if you check the minimap, we've got a train there of about maybe 8 cars. So at this point in the race, I'm probably checking the information, checking the mirrors, analysing, you know, what my race strategy is. We've got a 6-lap race, so strategy's not quite so important. It tends to be, you know, flat out, drive as fast as you can. It's only 6 laps. You know, there's not a whole lot of time that you're going to be kicking yourself if you make a mistake. It's quite a short race. But so yeah, we're comfortably second place here. We've got about the same gap behind as we do in front. For some reason, I take the elaborate right-hand route there. I guess it's just more fun. So we brake just before 150 on the little white line on the ground actually. That is not a good sign. Lap 2, come on. Get your arse in gear, Victor. So we're kind of losing first place here a little bit. Second place, don't need to worry about it just yet. Let's see what happens here. It's a good slide angle there. Happy with that. I'm just going to take a look at the throttle and braking here. So we're on lap 2. Adrenaline's probably alright. Yeah, looking pretty smooth on brake release and throttle application through that corner. Let's have another look. Braking. Yeah, right on that board. Doing a few slight lifts off just to make sure we don't get any twitches, and if you're settled down and you know, stable throughout the middle of that section, you can actually apply full throttle. It looks like. So a lot of lift off of brake through that one far before turning. I think that's just because, you know, on the turn in of that corner, you're not really going to be making up any time late braking really, because the way you're going to make time is on this straight. It's so long, your acceleration path is more important. But here, definitely pushing the braking zone a little bit. Little push and throttle, lift off and then push back, coming out of there just to check, make sure that I'm not, because obviously on that 2, nearly spun out on that. So it's probably muscle memory there that I'm applying throttle, coming out, lifting off and applying again, just in case I get a little bit of play, pushing it far too much on the brakes there. But look how much time I've gained. I may have realised how much of a gap I had to this Corvette, so maybe that made me comfortable to push the brakes there. This corner still, I think, makes me quite nervous, but he seems to have run a bit wide there, so he's dug in the dirt and lost a bit of speed.
Watch your left.
Looks like I've got a chance here maybe. I've given him room on the inside, he didn't need it. Looks like he's happy to take the draft. So it looks like we're both kind of happy to, you know, follow each other around the track, it seems, because he's gone for a move up the inside there. I think I saw that coming. hence I didn't turn in until quite late. As I said, I'm quite happy to follow him around the track for now. Second and third place, and not that far away. If we make contact and lose a bit of time, it's going to be, you know, arguably we're going to be put down to third or fourth. So sometimes it's better just to, you know, give the other driver his line.
He's on your right. All clear.
Bump to bump here, so yeah, we're having good. It looks like we're both having good fun. He's giving me plenty of room here. He's gone defensive way early. As I said, I prefer the outside on this left-hander because you can let them go if they late brake. Yeah, let off there. I think I decided that, you know, we've been driving pretty close. It's lap 4. Maybe my hands are getting a little bit sweaty, so I'd give him a little bit of breathing room. You know, maybe come back lap 5 on the last lap to have another shot at first. But I think I'm pretty happy to, you know, let him, you know, take the win. He kind of deserves it. He's driving really well. I mean, I'm happy with how I'm driving as well, so I think that's why, you know, I'm sitting back a bit because I've really been pushing it. But so we're just licking the draft here. So you see, I take the inside a little bit there just for extra downforce. If you get out of the car's wake before the braking zone or during the braking zone, you get clean air, which is going faster, and you get more downforce. So you actually get more braking power. I think I do it coming up. Yeah, so here I'm going to clean air, and as soon as I hit the brakes I start to turn to the outside to get the best racing line. So the only reason that I've gone inside is not to go for an overtake, but just to make sure I've got that extra downforce to stick the brakes. So yeah, the pack behind, nobody seems to have lost it. We've got, as long as we don't make a mistake, they're not going to catch us. We've only got this lap and one more lap to go. Yeah, so we're really catching up with this guy now. So this is all about patience and picking your spots, because you make one mistake, you're not catching up again. You've got one. See, I let off here because I decided there's no point in going alongside for this. For Ascari, it's one of my least comfortable corners of the track, so I let off. You know, stay in the draft, let him lead the way, because I know I've got another lap left and I'm right behind him. If he messes up one corner, then I can just go for a move. And to be honest, if I was to overtake him now, it would probably be too much pressure having him in my rear view, because I'm used to having my rear view completely empty this race, and I know how fast this guy's driving. So here we're getting quite close here. Let's see. Yeah, so I know I've not got quite the right distance for an overtake, so I stick back to the racing line. I'm trying to cut that corner. We seem to have maintained the same distance from this driver that most of the race, about 2-3 car lengths. Probably because any closer than that, and we'd be making contact, or I'd be side by side, challenging for an overtake. And at the moment, I don't think I'm comfortable initiating an overtake. I think I've decided to, wait for him to, make a mistake and leave me space to go past. After all, I don't want to try and go for an overtake that I'm not comfortable with. I don't want to ruin his race if I mess it up, especially he's given me plenty of room throughout the race, so I'll give him plenty of, you know, room and respect as well. So yeah, we've got one corner left. It doesn't look like we're going to take the win here, but again, really enjoyed this race, so it's not really a problem. Second place is fine. But look at that, we've taken the apex very nicely there, and this straight hands itself to drafting. We're getting a big draft up here. Are we going to make it? Or side by side? That is a photo finish. So great race, that one. Yeah, really enjoyed that one. Great driving by Ice T Face. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that.